all of y'all with the servants. Back at it again with another video through the Spirit. Right, another early morning Sabbath meditation. All praise the Most High for another beautiful Shabbat through the Spirit. So today we're gonna go ahead and get into this thing, something to meditate on this beautiful Shabbat. So let's start with the book of Matthew, chapter 23. Matthew 23 and 23. So it reads, this is, woe unto you scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. So on this beautiful Shabbat, we want to deal with having mercy and having faith. Right? We got to make sure that in these times, we definitely got to be merciful to one another. And even just in this time, but every day you should have mercy upon your brothers. You should have mercy upon your sisters. And we got to have faith. Because if you don't believe in the Lord, you don't have faith, you don't have hope in the Lord, hope in salvation, and you ain't going to make it in this thing. You can't do it by yourself. We need the Lord. And for those people, you have some people that might think, all y'all do is talk about the law, but do y'all have faith? You gotta have faith too. It ain't just about doing the law, keeping the laws of God. It's also about having faith as well. We just tell our people as well that along with that faith, keep these commandments as well. That's what we're telling our people. To the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, we're telling our people that, hey, you gotta be keeping these laws, statutes, commandments, and having faith. Because when it comes to our people, they do that portion of I got faith, I believe. But when it comes to being obedient and following the ways of the Lord, they fall short every time. And now today we're going into our people making sure you have faith as well. Because sometimes our people we don't really believe like we say we do. We think we go through different things, and you can see sometimes that brothers and sisters, they be lacking in faith. You can't be lacking in faith. You have to increase in faith in these times. Okay, but let's deal with mercy. So I'm gonna go to the book of Exodus first. I'm gonna go to the book of Exodus, chapter 20. And let's go to verse number 6. Matter of fact, I'm starting verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keeping my commandments. So we got to understand that, hey, the Lord saying here in Matthew chapter 20, verse 6, that he gonna get up with people that hate him. And the ones that hate him is what? The ones that are doing things contrary to him, breaking his laws, despising him, turning their back on the Lord, serving the world. And as in serving the world, you're doing the things of the world. You're not being holy. You're not being set apart. Lord will get up with you. And not only will he get up with you, but he'll get up with your children from the third and fourth generation. But then you go to the next verse, but also the Lord, he'll get up with you, but also the Most High is very merciful as well. It says this, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me. And who are those that love the Lord? For those that might be new, all right, they might be new. They might say, well, I love the Lord. But what does it really mean to say that you love the Lord? Let's go to 1 John 2 and 3. 1 John 2 and 3 says, and hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He that said, I know him, And think about this. In order to say that you love God, you got to know him. You can't just say, well, I love God, but you don't know him. Think about that. You said, oh, I love so-and-so. You don't know a thing about him. Love him. You know what I mean? If you get what the gist. But let's keep reading, though. It says, and keep him not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoso keepeth his word, and keeping his word is keeping the commandments, in him verily is the love of God perfected. So when it goes into loving God and saying that you love God, you gotta be keeping his words, being obedient to him, because doing so, that's how your love for God is perfected, by keeping his word. Hereby know we that we are in him. Okay, so with that being said, by you being obedient to the Lord, that's how you love him. Keeping his commandments, that's how you love him. Let's get the other precept. Other classic precepts. 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Let's see. Ain't not hard. It says, I'm gonna read this in the GLT. Loving God means keeping his commandments. NLT. It says, loving God means keeping his commandments, and his commandments are not burdensome. So this is what loving God is. Keeping his commandments. 1 John 5:3, 1 John 2:3, verse 2, 1 John chapter 2, verse 3 to 4. Verse 5. This is what it is. Keeping the commandments. And his commandments is not burdensome. It's not hard. Okay? So let's go back to Exodus chapter 20. So just to run back real fast. So Exodus 20, let me get it back, change it back to KJV. Hold on, let me see something. Okay, yeah. So it says, in showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. So we see, okay, he's showing mercy. Now let's go into the law, as into how the law also shows you to be merciful. Because look how the Lord is merciful. So let's go to this. I'm gonna give an example how the Lord is merciful. Let's go to this right quick. Okay. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 5, and let's go to verse. Let's go to verse. Let's go to verse 5. So the title of this is going into guilt offerings. So you're going into the law of guilt offering, and the reason why we're going to, I'm gonna show you an example when you read, because the law is very spiritual. Law is spiritual, but when you read in the law, you can see the Lord showing you mercy. I'm gonna show. So let's go to this. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 5, and we're gonna read verse 5. It says, and it shall be when he shall be guilty of one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned in that thing, and he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin, which he hath sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring his trespass offering which he hath committed, 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons unto the Lord, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. So And when you look at this passage, it says if he's not able to, then hey, he can bring this. That's mercy. Instead of just saying, well, hey, you can't do it. If you can't bring a lamb, hey, you gonna be finished. Lord said, well, hey, if you ain't got it to do that, then you can bring this. Because you gotta think about it when you go into it historically during the time of Israel, you have people that had different statuses. You may have people that had was able to bring a lamb. Somebody probably had that bring a lamb. They probably just had to have turtle doves or pigeons. But here you see the Lord showing mercy to his people. In gift offerings, sin offerings. He's showing mercy. Like if you ain't got the lamb, then you can bring this. Okay? So let's keep going. I'm gonna show you. Let's go down to verse 10. It says, and he shall offer the second for a burnt offering according to the manner of the priest. Shall he make an atonement for his sin, for his sin which he have sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering a 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for his sin offering. So it's like, dang, all right, if you ain't got the lamb, 2 turtle doves or 2 pigeons. And if you ain't got that, you got flour. You can bring flour. So you're seeing the Lord being merciful to his people. He's trying to make a way so they can bring offerings for their sin offerings. Not just saying, okay, this is that, but you see through the Spirit how the Most High is merciful. And just as the Most High have mercy on us, we should be merciful to our brothers and sisters as well. Now let's go into us in the law being merciful to one another. All right. Let's go to, okay. Let's go to this. All right. Let's go to this. Let me see. I'm going to go to this precept. Because when you go on how our forefathers was to deal with each other according to the law, let's go to this. Let's go to Leviticus 21 and let's go to this. Bear with me. That's what I want to get. That's not bad. That's not bad. All right. Let's go to this. This precept right here. Let's go to this. It says, if a man, let me see this. Bear with me, y'all. It's a certain precept that I was going into that basically, when I find it, but it's basically going to, if you have somebody that lost a sheep or a beast, let me see, bear with me, that you gotta basically go help them. Let's see this. Let me get this. JV. Let's get this right quick. I know I seen it. Yeah, I know I seen it. Yeah. Yeah, it's Exodus 23 and verse 4. That's why I'm like, yo, just there. But Exodus 23, had to go one more chapter. All right, yeah. So let's go to this. Exodus 23 and verse 4. And let's start at verse we can start at verse 4. It says this: if thou meet thine enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. So think about this. It says, if thou meet thine enemy's ox. Meaning there's somebody that probably hates you, somebody that's probably talking bad about you, because it says an enemy. But it says what? Thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. That's mercy. It's showing to be merciful to your brother, somebody that's your enemy. That brother, that sister that always talking trash, saying this, saying that about you, always got something to say about you. But you still gotta look out for them. It says, if thou see the ass of him that hated thee lie under his burden, and wouldest forbear to help them, thou shalt surely help them. That is mercy. You got to be merciful to one another. So when it goes to Yahweh Shah saying in Matthew 23 and 23, that y'all omitting the weightier matters of the law. In the law, it shows us that we got to be merciful to one another. We see how through the law that the Most High, he's merciful. He was merciful. He said he was merciful to those that love him and keep his commandments. Then we went to Leviticus, chapter 5, and we seen how the Lord was merciful, even when it was pertaining to the offerings of sin offering, which we need, because we in this flesh and we go off, we fall short. And Lord was being merciful. How much so? Now we're seeing in Exodus where Lord is showing us to be merciful to those that despise us, hate us, enemies of your people. All right, so let's read it in the NLT. It says this: if you come upon your enemy's ox or a donkey that has strayed away, take it back to its owner. If you see that the donkey or someone who hates you has collapsed under its load, do not walk by. Instead, stop and help. And that's us being what? Merciful and loving towards one another. And that's how we got to be. In this thing, don't forget to have mercy on your brothers and sisters. Don't forget to have mercy on your wife. Don't forget to have mercy on so-and-so, so-and-so. Because we need mercy. Every day we need mercy. Because every day we're in this flesh and we need the mercy of the Most High. But when needing the mercy of the Most High, you got to be merciful too. And here we see examples of the law of our people being merciful to one another as we should. This is how we're supposed to move. It was and I want to go to this in the blue letter, the word enemy. See what it's saying. Let's go to it. All right, so we'll just say enemy, foes, right? Enemy, personal, national. So again, you see an enemy. Again, you have some people within the community of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans that we despise them. Our people despise each other sometimes, and that's also those curses. Deuteronomy 28:54, so forth and so forth. But we can't, as you realize that you are Israelite, we can't continue in that same wicked pattern of having hatred, or even that to the point to where if you see, because that's is you see in your because think about it, when you had back in the day an ox or a donkey, these were things of value. You needed that. You needed an ox so you can tie up an ox and a donkey. So the ox, you would tie the ox up, and that would be the thing that help you what's that word? When you go into like farming, that will help you turn over the soil. They'll tie the ox up and it'll push the soil. So it'll push the soil as it's walking, right? It's a tool that you like a little thing that you attach it to, and that'll turn over your soil. And that was a part of farming. So when you think about it, that was a very valuable tool. If you don't know anything about farming, you have to turn over the soil. You have to turn the soil, and then plus when it's time for planting, like if you plant a huge field, you come in, the ox come in, and they'll turn over the soil, and they'll keep a little gap to where you can go ahead, you can drop the seeds in the ground, and then you cover them up. So think about it on a scale like how valuable an ox is. So to people of old, that's all we had then. We was the people of husbandry. We was growing olives, pomegranates. We was growing all type of stuff, wheat, barley. So we needed those animals to make a living. We needed those animals for our so we could have goods and so forth and so forth. So a person having such thing and they losing it, that's a lot. And nowadays, people, we bear so much hatred for our brothers, we don't give a dang. They lose their car. We don't care. Hey, that's that nigga. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Good. I'm glad he lost it. But we can't continue that same pattern in this truth. Once you realize that, hey, you an Israelite, bro, you can't continue that same mentality of the world. Whenever somebody, because you have some people talk bad about you, whatever, but you can't be to the point to where you wouldn't help them. Oh, this that, bump that. That's showing a level of mercy, a level of love. Think about that. It says an enemy. This people was an enemy instead of foe, but adversary. It says active principle of hating an adversary, enemy, foe. Somebody that hate them. But the law told you to go what? Go help them. Assist them. They done lost something. They done lost something. Go get that. You see it right there. And think about it nowadays, bro. Especially if you don't like nobody. You know what I'm saying? If they see something, they know you done lost it. A lot of people, let's say, I don't know. Let's get the example of somebody say, oh man, I lost my $100 bill or whatever. You might have seen that $100 bill. You know what I'm saying? Especially somebody that you don't like, man, they snagging that. Let me get that. Versus, hey, nah, man, you did drop that though. It's about being loving and merciful to one another. And that's being renewed in the mind. That's being different in its truth. That's how you gotta, in this truth, you gotta evolve, you gotta grow. To where now, because a lot of people, they think this the law just, this, that also shows you too how to treat one another. So when you go into Yahweh Shai in Matthew 23, verse 23 says, judgment and mercy. Judgment and mercy, we gotta make sure that we be merciful to one another. We gotta know how to make sure that we treat one another right. That's very important. And that's moving in the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Because he was getting on the scribes and Pharisees. Hey, you need to do this. If you're saying that we are followers of Christ, we're doing the things of Christ, well, part of being a follower of Christ is being merciful to your brother and sister. Very, 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 very important. And sometimes, you got brothers and sisters, they make mistakes, and or they fall short or whatever may happen, we can't sit there and just cast them aside or say, F this person. When you think about it, the Most High don't do that to you. You fall short. You make mistakes. Think about the different things that you've done. Everybody know their own personal walk and things that they do in this life. And you see the mistakes and things that you make, and you see that, dang, I really need mercy from the Most High right now. I'm really hoping that he don't get up with me. I'm really hoping he don't get up with my kids. But I can't go out here knowing that I need mercy from the Most High, and I'm not being merciful to my brother and sister. I'm sitting here just with that effort spirit. That ain't got nothing to do with me spirit. No, they crossed me. Bump that. They crossed me. Bump that. No. Have mercy. Nah, she said this. She shouldn't have said that. She really just tried me. Hell no. Bump that. Nah, we gotta be merciful. We gotta be merciful. Because you can't want mercy and not give mercy. Can't. It don't work like that. And that's the same thing with forgiveness. We have to forgive each other, one another. But you can't say, I want forgiveness. I want the Lord to forgive me because I need that. We need that. We need that. But you can't forgive your fellow brother and sister. So when it comes to this thing, as a community, we have to do better. Like you got people, you wear your fringes, good. Keep Sabbath holy, good. Keep dietary laws, good. You keep the feast days, good. But if you're not treating your brothers and sisters right, you going off. You is going off. And we have to do better when it comes to treating one another right. You have to do such. You have to. It's important. And the law shows you that. It teaches you how to treat your brothers and sisters. Let's go to another example. You got some people who they think, oh, what the Christ said you gotta love your neighbor and all this. Well, how do you learn how to do that? By going to the law. It shows you that. Love thy neighbor as thyself. That's an example of a person if you wanna quote that, of a person that you dislike, and you see they done lost something, and you see that, and you see it. You see what they have lost. Hey, help them, help them. That's truly loving your neighbor as yourself. When you can bypass that somebody might dislike you. You can bypass that they done said this and that about you. You can bypass that and still love them and still treat them right. That's the level of involvement you want to get to in this truth. Not carrying that same Negro spirit into this truth. That, bump that. Hell no, they didn't. No, we can't do it. We can't continue to move like that. We have to grow. That's a part of your growth. Knowing how to treat your brothers and sisters, that's a part of growth. Being more and more closer to Christ, being Christ-like, moving in the image of a Mashiach. Yes, he kept the law. He kept law perfectly. And a part of keeping the law perfectly is that love portion, that mercy portion, the faith portion, which we're going to get into. We got to make sure that we practice being merciful to our fellow brothers and sisters. So let's go to this. Let's go to Leviticus. We go to Leviticus 19:9. Check this out. It says this: and when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest, and thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I am the Lord your God. So let's do, and before that, and I should have done this first. But I do want to before I go that, I'm gonna continue on this. I'm gonna still deal with this, but I do want to go and tap into the word mercy. I was gonna go into I should have did that first. Went into the definition of the word mercy, but we're gonna keep rolling, guys. We're gonna keep rolling. So let's go to this right here. Let's read it in the NLT. It says this: when you harvest your crops of your land, do not harvest the grain along the edges of your fields. Do not pick up do not pick up what the harvesters drop. It is the same with your grape crop. Do not strip every last bunch of grapes from the vines, and do not pick up the grapes that fall to the ground. Leave them for the poor and the foreigners living among you. I am the Lord your God. Look at this. This is mercy. This is love. Thinking about that, you know what? I got this again. Like I was talking about earlier, how we were people that are part of our culture, our heritage, the things that we done as a people. We had crops. We had crops. We used to go grain, grapes. We grew a lot of things. We had fields, we had land, and we would grow things. But it's telling you, whatever, even though this is yours, don't harvest it all. Whatever drop, don't get it all. Leave some for the poor. That's mercy. That is love. And we have to keep practicing these things. Now you gotta see it with a spiritual eye. Well, they're just talking about fields. It's just saying, bro, look at it with spiritual, like, dang, give a crap about the poor of your people. That's the point. Think about it. You might not have a field right now, because if you had a field, you gotta do that. But think about it as a such of caring for your fellow brothers and sisters, not just saying, oh, I'm gonna get all this. Oh, this is my whole field, I'm gonna take it all. But no, let me not take it all. Let me leave some for somebody that don't have enough. And that just going to thinking about somebody other than yourself. So when you go into how we're commanded to love our neighbor as ourselves, you're seeing the examples of that. Because you're thinking about these people. Hey, I got it. I can't. Hey, leave that. That's for the poor. Leave that. That's for such. So when it goes to us being merciful and things of these matter, you can learn these things from the law. But not just learn them for the law, apply them to your life. Apply that mercy in your relationships. Apply that mercy in your marriage. You got some men, they go crazy. Yo, be merciful, bro. Give us some mercy. They got some women. They go crazy. They don't be merciful. Have mercy. You gotta have mercy on each other. Cause we need mercy. Have mercy on your children. Have mercy on that one brother. That one brother is always that one brother. Have mercy on them. Because you can't forget that you in need of mercy. Very dire need of mercy. But now let's go back to Matthew 23. All right, so let's go here. So I want to go to this. Get this. Let's get this. And then we'll also pull up a definition. Go to the pull up two definitions for. I'm gonna get it here. I'm gonna put it but it's going to mercy. This is in the Greek. It says mercy. It says outline of biblical usage. It says mercy, kindness, or goodwill towards the miserable and the afflicted, joined with the desire to help them, of men towards men, to exercise the virtue of mercy, show one's self-mercy, and you got to be merciful to yourself. And God towards men in general providence, the mercy, clemency of God in providing and offering men salvation by Mashiach, the mercy of Mashiach, whereby of his return to judgment, he will bless true Christians with eternal life, or true people that follow him. But the point of me going to this definition, I'm gonna deal with the very first one that we see. Kindness and goodwill. We have to practice kindness and goodwill towards one another. You know, it's sad to say this, but sometimes you can see in a different religions, for example, Christianity, that's a religion. But it's sad to say that sometimes you can see sometimes in Christianity they spare a little, they got a little love. They sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you can see someone they be having that goodwill, that kindness towards one another. I can give them that. Sometimes they do it, not all the time. Now they tripping. But if we, the people that say we know the truth and we are the true Christians, mean a Christian just means follower of Christ. That's all that means. Follower of Christ. If you're saying you're a true follower of Christ, you have to truly follow him. And a part of truly following him is showing kindness and goodwill towards one another. That is important. Some months we get in this thing, we fit out, we're Israelites, and we forget that. We forget that we gotta be kind to one another. We forget that we gotta have goodwill towards one another. Do not forget that. That is important. Yahweh Shai said it himself. These are the weightier matters. Because in showing mercy, you're gonna show love. Because when we see the mercy from the Most High, we see his love. We see that he loves us. When you read that in the NLT, it says it's when they're saying, I'm gonna read it for y'all so y'all can see what I'm talking about. When we see the mercy of the Lord, we see his love. I'm gonna read it in the NLT. When we was talking about, we brought out earlier, it was Exodus 20 and verse 6. We're gonna get it in NLT though. It says this: but I lavish unfailing love for a thousand generations on those. So let's deal with the point. It says, for those who love me and obey my commands. The point is, it says lavish unfailing love. So when we see the mercy from the Most High, we see his love, even with his judgment. But you see that on one end, the Most High, he will get up with you. Oh, I'm slacking. I meant to show y'all this. Yeah. But just read it. We see that, we know that the Most High is terrible. We know that. We know the Most High, he does all the destruction. He does everything. Everything in the world he does. He's in charge of everything. And we see the judgment that's been going on and the judgment that's going to go on. We know about the destruction that's going to come. We know about the famine, the pestilence that's going to come. The unalivings on massive scales that's going to come. But don't forget about the mercy. He's very loving as well. But when it comes to him being very loving and merciful, and we're saying, because you got to think about it, let's look at it. Yahweh Shai, he's the image of the Lord. So he's moving just like the Most High. And if we're saying we're followers of him, think about it. We gotta be merciful and loving too. So in this walk, we have to adapt that in our walk. Being kind and having goodwill towards one another. We have to do such and do so. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to Matthew 23. Let's go back to Matthew 23. Okay. So it says this: woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weighty matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. So let's deal with this faith portion. Another important part is faith. In these times, we really have to rack up on our faith. There's a lot of things that's going on in the world, and we've seen there's a lot been going on since what is this day 17 in this calendar, right? And we see the different things that's going on in the world, in society. So much is going on. From the stuff going on in Venezuela, the US and Iran going at it, China, Russia. You got what it was, Verizon being shut, the service being shut down. A lot of stuff been going on. Unalive has been going on. Sickness been going on. That's a form of pestilence. Sickness is a form of pestilence disease. Bro, there's been so many people that have been sick. I mean, on a mass, they ain't really been talking about it. But man, it's a I don't even know what this thing is. But it's a new, I don't want to say new, but it's a pestilence. It's a disease out here that's getting a lot of people sick. Some people's unalive. You got that going on. It's a lot going on. So with that being said, you can't lose faith in these times. You can't stop believing. You got people that's one point they in this thing, they saying they believe. Next point, they not. We gotta continue having faith though. You might have things going on within your household, within your marriage, within your day-to-day life, could be on your job, no matter what. Also, we know about the prophecy that's going to happen, as in the persecution of the saints and all the other things that's going to be going down. We can't lose faith. We cannot lose faith. So let's go to this harp on faith. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 11. But before we go to Hebrews chapter 11, let's go to James first, because when having faith, you want to make sure that your faith is alive. And why do I say have your faith alive? I'm about to go into it. Because faith without works is what? It's dead. Let's read this. It says, James 2:17. Even so, faith, if it have not works, it is dead, being alone. So when we go into faith, make sure that your faith lives. Because if you don't have no works with that faith, and it's just faith, is just being alone, it's dead. It means nothing. It's all for naught. It's vain. Versus that faith with works. And I'm going to show you, it says, yes, yea, a man may say, thou hast faith and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. So the faith is coupled with the works. And that's how you have faith that lives. Okay? That's how you have faith that lives. So, and I'm going to keep reading though. It says, thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. It said the devils also believe and tremble. So how much so us? We have to believe. And sometimes when things going on, Satan get in your mind and you stop. Some people start to doubt. Because you either believe or you doubt. It's either or. Sometimes people have doubt in their mind. But you got to cast that doubt away. You got to rebuke that doubt. And you got to believe. It says, but wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. Let's keep going. I'm still gonna go to Hebrews 11, But I just gonna keep going on this because it's gonna go into what I was gonna go into anyways. But it says, was not Abraham our father justified by works when he offered Isaac his son upon the altar? So you gotta see, and we're gonna go into it. When it was going into their faith, when you go to Hebrews 11, because we're gonna go there next. When it goes into their faith, it was things that they did that showed their faith, that showed they believe. So when you in this walk, it's things you have to do to show that you believe. If you really saying that you believe that by us keeping the commandments, have faith in Yahweh, that Lord willing, we can get salvation, we can get up out of this land of oppression. The Lord is going to come and he's going to redeem his people and save us. If you truly believe that, move like that, walk like that. But it says, seest thou have faith wrought with works, and by works was faith made perfect. And the scripture was fulfilled, said, Abraham believed God, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness. And he was called the friend of God. So when it comes to us and having faith, when you got things going on, don't stop doing. Because when you stop doing, you stop believing, you stop having that work. Think about it. When you stop believing in that, the work ethic, stop putting that work ethic that was driving your faith. Your work ethic is driving your faith. Now your faith starts to fail, starts to weaken. It starts to go down. Because the works that you was doing was pushing your faith. It was aligned with your faith. But when you stop, because you stop believing, start doubting, because it starts in the mind. Once you start doubting, then it starts to go to your actions. You stop doing because you don't really believe. But if you really believe, you got to keep doing it. If you really believe that when Yahweh shall come, that he's going to come with judgment, he's going to send destruction, that 2/3 is going to be destroyed. If you really believe that, why not try your best? Because you got faith, as you say, that you can get saved from this, that you can get redeemed from this. But it comes with you what? Doing those things that the Lord required for you to get up out of here. And that's faith, repentance, keeping these commandments. All tie in together. Because repentance, that's going and changing. You have to change. You can't continue to stay the same. Because that's not repentance. That's that. And in this walk, you have to change. That's what you see the brothers on the highways and byways. That's what they're preaching. Change. Stop doing this. Do this. Have faith. Because without the works, your faith don't exist. It's dead. So let's go to Hebrews. Now faith, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtain a good report. So we think about this. Faith, we're hoping for salvation. Even in your day-to-day trials, it says, many are the affliction of the righteous, but the Lord delivered from them all. You hoping that. We hoping that. We have faith in that. Like, dang, man, I'm catching hell right now. I'm going through it right now. But I'm Lord willing, bro. I'm hoping, I'm having faith that Lord gonna deliver me from this. That I'm gonna get out of this. Don't sit there and think that whatever you go through or whatever you're going through, that you can't get delivered out of that you can't get saved out of that. Because that's what you don't really believe. Or whatever you might, you know what I'm saying, you might be dealing with some demons, whatever. You gotta have hope and faith that you can overcome that. Hope in that. But it's things that you can't see. That's the pinnacle part. You might can't see it. Think about that. You be like, man, I can't see that. I can't see that. It's a lot to think about it though. It be situations like, no, I can't see that. I can't see that happening. But think about it, you can't. But have faith that it can. That's the thing. Have faith that it can. Think about that. When you really look at it, can you think about it? We saying that the Lord, which we know is a so-called black man, right? He's, Christ. He's not a so-called white man with doggy stringy hair. That he's gonna come with thousands upon thousands of angels, and he's gonna gather up the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and take them to their own land. Can you really vision that? Thousands of angels in the sky. The Lord coming, Babylon being destroyed. You looking down at the destruction. But we hope for that. You can't really visualize that. You might have people that can probably do some AI stuff, but it's nothing compared to the real deal. It said that Yahweh Shai gonna come as the lightning in the sky from the east to the west. So you can't even, bro, fathom just seeing him coming, piercing the sky. I mean, man. All the while, all while you have all the things that's going on in the world, war going on, this going on. I mean, oh man. But we hope for this. A place where there's no death, no dying, no crying, no sorrow, just with the Lord. We hope for this. Being kings, rulership, ruling over the nations, being with the Lord, having feast days. It says it's gonna be a day. It's gonna be a day. It says it's gonna be a day that's gonna it's no longer they're gonna be called it's no longer gonna be said the Lord that brought them out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord that brought them land out of the land of the north. That's what we hope for, though. That's what we hope for. You might can't see it right now, but that's what we hope for. And sometimes, even with your day-to-day life, some situations like, dang, I can't see me getting out of this. But it's not for you to see. That's where their faith come in. That's where the hope in the Lord comes in. You might can't see it because you're a man. You're flesh. But because you can't see it on the level that we're on, don't mean the Most High can't do it. He can't achieve it. He can't do it. We can't put the Lord in a box because we in a box. We only can do a certain amount of things. But when it comes to the Most High, who we have faith in, and we trust in him and his son, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we trust in that, we can, whatever the Most High do is far beyond our reach, far beyond our capacity, far beyond our thinking. Right? You can't even have the brain power to think of the things the Most High can do. It's far beyond your thinking power, your thinking ability. But let's keep going. It says, through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith, Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain. Let's stop right there. By faith, Abel offered. So he offered something, you have to do something. He didn't just say, yeah, Abel had faith. He believed God. He had faith. And it was a period. No, it says Abel had faith and offer unto God. So he had to do something. He had to fall through with an action that showed his faith. A more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, God testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. Okay. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death and was not found because God had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased God. In pleasing God, there is actions. Not he just believed God, he pleased God. The things that he did were pleasing in the sight of the Lord. The Lord tells you how to please him, how to serve him. It's in the law. So you see how faith, mercy, you see it in the law, faith is in the law, but hope in the Lord is in the law. The things that he said he's going to do, so forth and so forth, but it comes with the actions. Think about it. When we're seeing the examples, they're doing things that the Lord told them to do. And he have given us, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, things to do as a nation. That's what makes us different. That's what makes us set apart. That's what makes us holy. All right. So it says, but without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And think about this. It says, but without faith, it is impossible. It said it's impossible without faith to believe, to please him. So, and just think about this. If it's saying that, but it's saying in order for your faith to live or to really mean something, you got to put in the works. You see how it ties into one another. The works, the faith, all of it ties together. It's not a separate thing. We don't just preach, yeah, man, keep commandments, keep commandments, keep commandments, and not faith. You got to have faith too. But those things coupled together, that's how you please the Lord. Let's keep going. By faith, being warned of God things, be warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepare an ark to the saving of his house. Think about this. And this to the people too, like when you know prophecy, or you hear about it, you might not know all the deep prophecy, but just on a basic level, prophecy that, in Matthew 24, right, that famine is coming, or pestilence is coming, or destruction is coming. We know this. Okay? We know this. Babylon is going to be destroyed. We know this. Be moved with fear. Prepare. Noah prepared. He prepared. Think about it on a spiritual level, though. Not saying go build you a dang I don't know, a superdome or something to protect yourself from destruction or whatever, but prepare, move in fear, and prepare yourself spiritually. As in doing things that's right and pleasing in the sight of God. That way you can obtain mercy. That way you possibly get saved. It says, by saving his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. But when it comes to what Noah did, it was his actions. He did something. So when it comes to faith, you have to do something. It's not just cutting it. It's not just cutting the mark, just saying you believe. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to get you there. You have to do something. That's going to get you there. Because that shows you really believe what you're talking about. What you really saying, and you really believe that, and act like it, move like it. Do what's right. Okay. And I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna read. I ain't gonna read this whole thing, but just to show y'all, man, faith, mercy, and faith is very important, and we need. I'm telling you that We need mercy, and we gotta have faith. You need mercy. No, mercy is just it's it's important. It's imperative, man. It's so imperative. So imperative. So important. Faith, very important. Both, you need it. You need it. But let's say this. Hebrews 11:8. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went. Think about this, man. Again, he didn't know. But he just moving off faith. Sometimes, bro, you don't know what your next move really gonna be like that. Like, you got an idea, but we all at the mercy of the Most High. Anything can happen, anything can switch up. But you pray and hope that the Most High guide you. Have faith in that he's gonna guide you. We gotta believe that. Or when it says that those that's gonna get persecuted for low life, for those that's gonna get unalive, there's gonna be people that's gonna get unalive for this truth. You gotta believe that. Lord say when that happened, you gonna get the kingdom. You gotta believe that. And it's easier said now than when you're really in that situation. We can say it now, but you never know how you're gonna be feeling that situation. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta continue to fall through with that and believe that. Go believe that. And like it said in Job chapter 5, verse 22, that the Lord will basically save you from famine. When you see all the things that's going on, again, there's gonna be some stuff that's gonna go down. You see people being unalive from starvation, people being wreaking havoc throughout the world, so much going on. You have to believe that the Lord can help you. The Lord can help you. But it goes into doing, still keeping the commandments, still being diligent, still being sincere in this thing. Because that's gonna make your faith live. That's gonna back your faith. That's gonna support your faith. The works support the faith. Without the works, you have no support. Nothing supports your faith if you don't have no works. But your works support the faith. But it says though, and he went out not knowing whither he went. So, but the Lord, he did it, but that showed his faith. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. So, with that being said, we just telling our people that in these times, man, you really gotta have faith in the Lord, really believe, be merciful, show kindness and goodwill to your fellow brothers and sisters, because we want the Lord to show kindness to us. We want the Lord to show us mercy. And that's something to definitely meditate on, sit there and think about, pray, and if you're lacking in faith, pray that the Lord increase your faith. And so forth and so forth. He teaches you to be merciful, so forth and so forth. But Lord willing, that was edifying through the Spirit. Lord willing, brothers and sisters, have a beautiful Shabbat. For those that's that keep the new moon, that's gonna be tonight. Lord willing, brothers and sisters, have a beautiful new moon as well. We the servants, we're gonna be hosting the new moon as well tonight. We have it on our I think it's on our YouTube page. In our Instagram page, we got the location where we're gonna be at, and things that we're gonna be doing. We're gonna have class and things like that, and we're gonna have food and things like that. If y'all want to come out, get up with us, Lord willing, check out our flyer. But want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and